Hi, everybody. Today we're going to do a quick introduction to ecology. So, first of all, let's start off with a quick definition of ecology. So, if we break down the word ecology, eco refers to the environment and living things in relationship to their environment. And then ology means the study of. So, ecology is the study of the environment and how things are connected to the environment, how the environment changes, what ecosystems they are, how they work. When we study ecology, one big theme is going to be interdependence. Living things are interdependent on one another, and living things are interdependent on non living things as well. There are many interactions in ecology which we will be studying. When we study ecology, you're often going to hear the word ecosystem. An ecosystem contains the living and non living physical aspects of an environment. So we call those living aspects of an environment biotic factors. Biotic factors are the living part. So that includes plants, animals, microbes, diseases, parasites. All of these things are biotic. Biotic means living. And then there's abiotic. The A means without. So these are things without life, or the non living part. So air temperature, moisture, light, different elements that you might find in the soil or the water, minerals, and then other physical or chemical compounds. Okay, so when we study ecology, we're going to be breaking up everything into different levels of organization. So we're going to start off with the smallest levels of organization, which are the individual, and then we're going to get to the biggest, which is the biosphere. So here we see all of them: individual, population, community, ecosystem, and then even bigger is a biome, and then the biggest thing is the biosphere. So let's start at the beginning. An organism is just a single living thing, one person, one tree, one shrub, one bacterium. That is an individual organism. A population is a group of organisms that are all of the same species. And we know from evolution that a species is a group that can interbreed with one another. So a school of fish, a town with humans, a group of cats, a colony of E. coli bacteria, a forest of white oak trees, all of those would be a population. Bigger than a population is a community. A community is several populations that interact. So here on the right, we have a ecosystem of a coral reef, and we see there's different species of fish, different populations of fish, different populations of coral. There might be some turtles around. The coral are animals, different types of coral. There's sponges here. All those different populations make up a community. Bigger than a community is an ecosystem. So an ecosystem takes up a bigger space than a community, and it also contains the abiotic factors. Water temperature is an abiotic factor, right? That's what makes an ecosystem in tropical waters different from an ecosystem near the Arctic, the water temperature. Light availability, minerals present. So usually we've got a larger collection of organisms than a normal community, bigger and abiotic. Similar ecosystems. Before we move on to that, some ecosystems can be kind of small, like a fish tank can be an ecosystem. So when we use the word ecosystem, it's pretty flexible. We can mean many different things by that. A biome is when we have a group of ecosystems that are all pretty similar. So coral reefs all over the world are one biome. So all the different ecosystems of coral reefs, there's many of them, make up that biome. All of the temperate forests across the world make up a biome. All of the desert areas around the world make up a biome. So a biome is made up of many similar ecosystems. And then we have the biosphere. All of the biomes together make up the biosphere, the earth. Every single living thing lives in the biosphere, in the air, in the water, on land. Okay, so there are two important terms that you also need to know. So one important term is habitat. A habitat is like the address of an organism. This is where an organism lives. So it could be in a tree. It could be underground. It could be in a forest, in a shallow pond, in a deeper lake, in the ocean, in a stream, in a specific type of tree. All of these places are habitats. A habitat is a place. Examples of habitats: a lawn, the bottom of a stream, a maple forest, a wetland, a specific species of tree, even a city lot or a park can be a habitat, a specific area of the ocean as well. Habitats are where an organism lives, and an ecosystem is probably going to have more than one habitat. So you're going to have lots of habitats in an ecosystem. So that's really the difference there. Okay. Finally, another good term to know is a niche. A niche is not just where an organism lives, but it's its role in the environment. A niche is the role or the way of life of a species within its environment. So if you think about a frog, what are some examples of a frog's niche? You could say things like a frog lays eggs in the water. Frogs eat flies and mosquitoes and other insects. So frogs impact the insect population. Frogs may live in a wetland. Frogs may eat types of food that competes with another type of food, right? It may eat insects, and that competes with birds. So that's part of the frog's niche as well. It's everything that the frog does in its environment. So a niche is all the strategies and adaptations a species uses in its environment, how it meets its specific need for food, for shelter, and how and where it survives and where it reproduces. It is an advantage for species to occupy a niche different from those of other species in the same habitat, because then they won't compete as much. Competition is hard, so competing less is going to be helpful. All right. So finally, each organism is adapted to the conditions and the part of the environment where they live. Organisms may be affected by changes in the environment, and the environment can be affected by the organism. All right, so that is your quick introduction to ecology. We will continue this on another day. Let me know if you have any questions.